Have you ever felt uneasy near deep waters? Felt like something is watching you from the deep? Maybe you sense something that has long been forgotten. Welcome back to my channel. Today, let's talk about the old evil lurking under the surface of rivers and lakes in Ireland, the Oilliphéist. The word Oilliphéist derives from the Irish language. It consists of the word Oll, meaning great, and the word Féist, meaning worm or reptile, or even fabulous beast. So together, it basically means great worm or great reptile, hinting to giant serpents or even dragon-like beings. But over time, the meaning changed, and today, the word Oilliphéist also means monster. The Oilliphéist is not just known in Ireland though. In Scotland, it's known as Oilliphéist, and might be the perfect description for the Loch Ness monster. But Nessie is not the only Oilliphéist starring in various legends throughout Ireland and Scotland. One legend surrounds Shannon, the granddaughter of Manana MacLear, one of the great of the Tuatha De Danann, also known as the god of the sea. Shannon was said to have angered the Salmon of Knowledge by throwing stones at him, probably out of jealousy, for she wanted to possess his wisdom. But the Salmon got angry and summoned an Oilliphéist to his aid to kill the insolent girl. Other stories involve the patron saint of Ireland, St. Patrick, on his mission to free Ireland from all snakes. There is one legend surrounding the river Shannon, where an old Oilliphéist lived. When the Oilliphéist heard that St. Patrick was about to come to banish him, the giant but benign serpent became angry. How could that human dare to drive him out of his home? Well, unfortunately, there was a drunken piper, known as O'Rourke, who came past the waters where the enraged Oilliphéist was dwelling, and in his anger, the Oilliphéist arose from the waters and swallowed the poor lad whole. O'Rourke was so drunk, though, that he barely understood what was happening to him. Finding himself in the darkness of the serpent's belly, he just calmly took his pipes and started playing, and playing, and playing. He played so long in his drunken state that the still furious Oilliphéist got vastly annoyed. Apart from the fact that the piper also gave him a bad stomachache. When the Oilliphéist finally had enough, he started vomiting to get rid of that drunken, loud parasite, before he decided to just leave his lake and Ireland behind, before St. Patrick would have the chance to kill him. And while fleeing, his massive tail carved out the riverbed of the Shannon, creating the longest river in Ireland. Then there's the probably most famous Oilliphéist, Cuernach, the mother of monsters, the Irish equivalent to Lilith or Hydna. Depending on the legend, she was either set free and in the end also killed by the Fianna, or she was banished by St. Patrick. Either way, her blood gave the Loch Jarg, which means something like Red Lake, in County Donegal its name. But that is a story for another video. How loosely the term Oilliphéist is used today can be seen in the legend of the Muidhris. This sea monster is also known as Shanach, the stormy one. But even though she's an Oilliphéist, she's not necessarily a giant reptile. Instead, she's sometimes depicted as a different kind of water creature, like a kelpie. Be it as it is, however, this Oilliphéist is said to have inhabited the Loch Rory in Dundrum Bay in County Down. Her story is deeply intertwined with the story of Ulster King Fergus MacLeity. Legend has it that the Ulster King was kidnapped in his sleep by water spirits. But when they tried to drag him underwater to drown him, he woke up and managed to free himself and to seize 3 of his kidnappers. They begged him to set them free again, and in the end, the king agreed. But under one condition. They had to grant him 3 wishes, 1 for each of them. And so, Fergus, who loved to swim, wished for the ability to breathe underwater. The creatures, bound by their fate, granted him his wish, but of course with a catch. This ability to breathe underwater would work anywhere, in any lake, in any ocean, under any water surface, but in Loch Rory, in his own kingdom of Ulster. Well, as you can imagine, since this is not the end of the story, Fergus did of course not do the reasonable thing and swim anywhere but in this lake. He of course had to swim in exactly this one lake his ability wouldn't work in. What he seemingly didn't know, though, was that this specific lake was inhabited by the Mordorish, a giant Oilliphéist. Nobody really knows how she looked like. Like mentioned before, her appearance is described as anything from a jellyfish-like creature to a giant dragon. But what everybody agrees on is that she is the most deadly kind of sea creature you could possibly encounter. When Fergus saw the Oilliphéist, his face was forever disfigured, due to the sheer horror he experienced by just looking at the Mordorish. You see, in these old times, only those men could be king who were whole of body, and this seemingly minor disfiguration of his face, Fergus was no longer eligible to be king. But thankfully, Fergus had loyal men who didn't want him to lose his kingship. And since Fergus himself didn't even seem to realize what had happened, his men conspired and hid all mirrors from him, so that he would never find out that his face had changed. And they also kept any strangers who could find out about his deformity from him. This, oddly enough, worked for a while. For 7 whole years. But not forever. One fateful day, a servant, or in other versions his wife, revealed the truth to Fergus in anger. And the king's life changed. He returned to Loch Rory to encounter the Mordorish once more. A battle between both of them arose and lasted for 2 whole days. And in the end, Fergus was actually able to kill the Oilliphéist, but just moments later died himself of exhaustion. There are so many more stories of Oilliphéist, or great serpents, to be found all around Ireland and Scotland. Giant reptiles living in lakes and rivers, and partially being their creators. And the probably most important question at this point is, was St. Patrick really able to drive all of them out of Ireland? Or are they still old vicious beasts living in the deep waters of the Emerald Isle, and are just waiting for the right time to rise again? Thank you very much for listening. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe and ring the bell to be notified when new videos come out. See you next time. Bye!